Hey guys, all right, so let's start with what I have here. Say hi to Sheldon, Sheldon from Big Bang Theory, Big Bang Theory fan. So, when I found his bobblehead, I had to get it. But anyway, moving on. So here we have so far two ASUS monitors. They're on a stand, great monitors. I forget the model number, but I will post them on the page, the detailed descriptions and stuff like that. Because there's still more. I have a couple of more other monitors, but you'll see them as the review as you start seeing the other things. But anyway, so you can see I have a Logitech webcam, blah blah blah. Everybody knows that one. Right now my networking equipment is very basic. Well, if you can call it basic. So I have obviously the router right there. It's a Cisco RV325. This is an amp wireless access point. It's not the best. It was good when I first got it, but over time, as with everything, it gets crappy and you just gotta replace. And it's geared for home users, so it is what it is. It worked out great, but my stuff is evolving, and if I want it more secure, more stable, I gotta upgrade it. So I will be upgrading that with a couple of most likely Sonic wall access points, the Sonic points, the NEs. But I'll show you. I have a couple of them that need to be set up from my old lab, so I'm using it now to make this thing go live. But anyway, that's what that is. Like I said, that's the RV325. It's awesome, freaking awesome. But I may be replacing it with a higher end appliance just because there are going to be issues with performance if I start doing VPNs and all that stuff, depending on what I'm going to do, But for now, it's freaking awesome. I recommend this to all my clients. Moving on over here, these are little things, this is my 32-inch TV that I have also on top of my desk, just so I can watch TV and be on the internet at the same time, and that way I can have 3 monitors. I have more, like I said, but I just don't have the space for it right now. Once I remove the TV off my desk and put another mount there, that's where it's going to go. So I'll have the 4 monitors all across my desk. These are some of the things, little tools here, my pencils, my pencil and pens, my vitamins, because you got to keep healthy, so you got to have vitamins, some screws, some little stuff that I have, batteries, blah, 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 dust can covers and everything. So we're going to move over to look at some of the stuff that I have over here. And like I said, I'm not going to go into deep detail because I got to put a lot of this stuff together. But anyway, so here I have my, my VoIP phone. This is just a phone so I can have my phone line. So whenever I have people call me, clients and stuff like that, I'll be able to answer here or in my remote office. Either way, it's freaking awesome having VoIP, to be able to do this. Although the technology itself for SMBs is not great, but it's sufficient and it does what it needs to do, But anyway, so moving on, here's my one of my first towers that I've built, which is going to need some fine tuning. Right now, that's running an i7-4770 processor. It currently has 6 hard drives. 2 right now are configured in mirrors for the OS, and 6 are running in Array 10 for data. Simply so that way I can copy and not have the lag and performance and all that stuff when I'm copying or whatever the case may be. So it's a little bit, it's a higher end desktop compared to other machines. So it's great, but it's going to be redone. I'm going to put a couple of RAID cards and stuff like that, which you'll see in a few minutes of the other stuff that I have, which are going to go into the system. Over here, let me move this. We have another server. This is going to be running, I believe I'm putting in this one, a Xeon E3, processor. So it'll be good enough to just, to be able to handle what I need and create a couple of virtual machines. This is going to hopefully host IceCast and a couple of other virtual machines for distributing the audio over the internet. That's what that's going to be holding. So that's how it's going to work out. It's going to be an ESX machine, so that way I can have the virtual machines. Right now, this machine is already configured, but I'm going to redo it because I got a couple of new RAID cards that I want to put on here and to enhance the performance. Not that the one that's in there is not bad, because it is pretty good, but I'll go into detail about that as I build the machine. Hopefully in 2 weeks I'll post the second video with the machines built and ESX loaded and networked. But right now this has 12 hard drives. Well, let me rephrase that. 12 3.5 hard drives in array 10 configure. Well, 2 arrays of 6 hard drives in array 10. That's for performance, so that way I can, you know, if I do video rendering or whatever the case may be, it's so that way I can have all the files on one array, and then when I'm performing the rendering and everything else, it'll use the second array. That way there's no performance degradation. But anyway, that's right now. It's going to change. That right there is the Sans Digital, because I couldn't fit all 12 in this case. I had to get an additional 4-bay Sans Digital, and there's the bad boy right there. It works freaking awesome, but it's going to be dope. So that's going to be one of my E3 machines. That's going to be on the ESX, and I got VMware Essentials for that purpose, so that way I don't have to have several different, and management consoles have to be independent, so that way I can control all for one. It's going to be fucking awesome. Anyway, so that's what that is. Let me just show you the hard. I'm going to put these hard drives. I have a total, I believe, hold on, let me tell you right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 plus 4, I have 22 1 terabyte hard drives. That's what these are, the ones with the blank tape, you know. And then over here I have 1, 2, 3 2 terabytes, which those I'm not sure where I'm going to put them, but anyway, I got 3 2 terabytes, and then I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 3 terabytes. Now I haven't figured out the configuration on this yet, simply because I have a couple of NASs that I need to use. I'm going to use as backup drives. Here I have the Netgear Ready NAS, the 6-bay Pro. Freaking awesome device. I loved it so much that I wind up getting 2 more. I have a 2-bay right here, and I have a 4-bay right here. And the reason I'm going to use this is because that way I can save all my music and videos onto these and stream them without having to save them on the server where it doesn't need to be. You know, if they're going to be used for streaming, they should be on an appliance that's dedicated for that. So that's why I got the Ready NAS, and most likely the 3 terabytes are going to go into the NAS, so that way I have the maximum storage capacity in order to do backups. Because once you have this stuff up and running, you know, if you have a crash, poor you if you don't have a backup. And especially with the virus crypto locker out there, where it encrypts a lot of your stuff and you're screwed with, because it's not a virus, it's encrypting your file. So technically they're not infected, they're just encrypted, and you have to pay the ransom if you want it. But anyway, that's what that's for. So I'm going to have that. And on top of that, I have a total of 6 SSDs. The 256. This is the one that I just recently bought to make the 6th one, but I have 5 other ones that are in my other box with other hard drives. So I'm putting a total of 6 of these hard drive SSDs, also for an array on the ESX machine. It's not going to be on my performance PCs. These are ESX, so that way I can have faster, you know, for the server, so that I can have faster running servers on a virtual environment. Although I have here, let me just show you. This has 2 5 1/4 docks from IC for 2.5 drives. Right now they're populated with the top 4 populated with 4 SSDs, 120 gig each, and then the bottom 4 it has a total of 6, but those are cheap little freaking 2.5 data drives, 500 megs. I just put them in there just to see just to get a performance view out of them, but they're going to be replaced with the 6 additional SSDs that I have there. Underneath all this stuff right here, don't mind the Dell machines. Those are machines that I'm going to be using as dumb terminals, you know, and some actually aren't even mine. They're actually going to, I have to fix them for some of my clients. Again, because I work in IT and this is what I do for a living. But anyway, these are also going to be Xeon E3 machines. So we're going to have 1, 2, and 3 machines right here. And they're all going to be running Essentials, so that way I have only one way to get to them. I don't have to go through multiple different ones every time I need to manage them. So that's going to be my entire network right there. That's going to, you know, do all the security and everything on here. Moving on, over here, I have the Performance MX mice. I love those bad boys. Those are great. You know, I have the Logitech wireless keyboard. You know, having wires all over the place is just one of those situations that freaking sucks. So that's why I have to do it like that. You know, I'd rather have the two separate ones. They're great mice and whatever the case may be. But I'm sure you guys out on the internet knows what these are, and YouTube world, you know what those are and how they perform. So, you know. Right underneath that, that's a, you know, DefTech center channel speaker with a power subwoofer installed into it. I got this a couple of years ago. You know, I just got lazy with it, never really did anything, and never took it out of the box. So it's still brand new inside the box. So I will be taking it out. I'm not sure yet though. So it's either going to be sold, or I may just not auction off, but, you know, give it out as a prize on the YouTube channel if I get enough subscribers. But it's up to you guys. So you let me know. Over here we have, oh, that's what the monitor is. It's the Asus VN24 247 LCD monitors. They're freaking awesome. Those are the two monitors that you saw on top of my desk. You know, those are going to be two, but they will be there will be additional monitors. There won't be these, or there will be Dell, but I'll get you this. You'll see when I get them. As you can see, I have a total of 3 LSI 12 gig RAID controllers. It's going to be 3 of them. So I'm super excited about that, because that's going to power my ESX machines. I don't want any type of latency on them. I want them to freaking zoom and fly. So, and it's going to be awesome having that great controller, plus 64 gigs of RAM on each machine. Yes, I have 64 gigs of RAM for each. And so it's going to be really, really good. And that's what it's going to be powered by. And I have the battery backup, so that way I don't have any loss of power, whatever the case may be. Underneath that, that's one of the Dell monitors that I purchased to go along with my studio, to go along with the other 2 that I have, which I think I'm going to swap out or sell and just get the other one, the other Dell monitor that I want. But for now, this is here. And underneath that, that is my battery backup unit, which I forget the model number, but I will list it because it is freaking awesome. It's one of those that you can put a second battery, attach it to it, so that way you technically have 2 large batteries, and it's continuous and you won't lose power. It's 1500 watts, so it's going to be amazing, you know. As you can see, I have 2 more drives right there. Those are 500 gigs. Those are my drives that I use basically for whenever I redo somebody's computer. You know, I just slap on 500 gig. Most nowadays, you don't need more than 500 gigs anyway. But because storage is so cheap, might as well. A lot of people just get the 1 terabytes. You know, makes sense. Here are some of my tools, you know, for whenever I do some work and stuff like that. You know, when I need to take computers apart and stuff like that. And over here is my red chair, which is going to go with my theme. I'm Puerto Rican, so I'm going to have a lot of red. You're going to notice that, and I don't want any criticism. Just kidding, just kidding. But anyway, that's a brief tour of what I have in this small office. I do have another space. I'm going to show you stuff now. Like I said, I don't want any criticism because it is a mess, but it's going to come together really nice. So hold on for 1 second. I'm going to put it on pause, and I'm going to show you the rest of it. All right, guys. So here you can see some of the licenses that I have that you guys will see of the stuff that I'm going to be loading. Over here, I have more stuff that I'm going to be loading. Corsair, more hard drives. These are nice. These are enterprise 1 terabyte 2.5 drives. This is going to go into my supercomputer, the i7 that I told you guys that has the 6 hard drive. These are going to go in there because I'm building a supercomputer with that, with the same thing, same configuration. But these are going to use the older RAID cards, which really aren't old. They're just last year's models, but they're still being sold, and they're just as powerful because, let's face it, the hard drives that are nowadays are not going to take advantage of the 12 gigabits per second that the new RAID controllers do, unless you're going to have RAID 0 on like 20 SSDs. So it will never be saturated. So, you know, but nevertheless, that's what that's there for. Over here, I have my memory and all that stuff that's going to go into the server. Some of that is just desktop memory, but in there's also my server memory, the 64 gigs for each of the 3 machines. So that's what's there. And just more stuff over here. Then over here, I have even more crap that's going to go on my servers. But like I said, all this stuff is going to go together, hopefully sooner than later, and you guys will be impressed. So I'm gonna cut this video right here, and please stay tuned. Thanks.